So today I am sharing how I styled my hair. I actually got a lot of requests for this style when I posted it in one of my previous videos, and it was the first time ever doing my hair like this, so I was really excited to get like such a positive review because I am not good at doing my hair. Like, it's literally the simplest styles that I could do, simple curls and things. This is so simple, it just takes some time. So I'm going to get into it. All the products I'll be using, which is only like a couple of things, I'll link in the description below, along with my other social media. If you have any other questions, please feel free to leave me a comment. I'll do my best to get back to you. Oh, I wanted to apologize about the light. I'm like just about to lose it completely, but I think it should be good for most of the video. So fingers crossed, and let's get into it. So my hair is dry and like kind of styled with a bit of a heatless curl. So the only thing I have in it right now is the Wow Dream Cocktail leave-in treatment. I love this stuff. It just kind of smells like coconut, which I don't love. So I'm going to put in some heat protectant. This is the Davines. This is a blow dry primer. So I'm just going to give my hair a pretty good spritz with this. The scent of this reminds me of my modeling days so much. People used to use Davines on set so much, and this just smells like set to me. And I'm gonna brush this, being very gentle. Kind of adds a little bit of texture to your hair. So I just want to make sure that this is all smoothed out here. This is like mostly dried down, and I'm going to start sectioning off my hair. I start with my first section just below the ears bun. And then I have this Hot Tools hair crimper. It has the 3 barrels. It's on 370, so I'm guessing that's the one that I used last time. I'm just gonna push to lock that and let this heat up for a second. I actually haven't crimped my hair in a minute, so I'm trying to remember exactly how I did this the last time that I did it, but I really loved it. So I'm gonna take a kind of small section here, not going too crazy, and then hold this. Let's do 4 seconds and see what that looks like. And then as I bring it down, it's kind of hard to see at first, but I bring this last barrel into this barrel's last curve, if that makes sense. I'll pull my hair out just so you can see what I mean. This last curl is where I'm going to put the first barrel, so like this, just so everything stays like continuous. And then we have that. Really just working in small sections. Sometimes if the ends don't match up, I will kind of like overlay things or just kind of crimp it into the last one. If the hair really doesn't match up and I'm having a hard time, I flip the curler over and I'm gonna try to get it in here. It's hard in the mirror. Like that. That feels right. So you end up with. Moving on to the next row, I think I'm going to do this in 4 sections maybe. So I'll start maybe at the brows. Again, just securing this up. I'm gonna try to find all that hair, make sure it's not mixed in, and pull it to the front. Next row, I'm starting at the back here, as odd as that sounds, so I can just keep throwing the hairs to the back, just like that. This is a very thin layer. I should have done a thicker layer than this. So one thing you're gonna do too when you do this is you're going to change the position, the angle of your hand when you clamp down. And that's just gonna give you kind of a more natural look to it, so the hair is not so perfectly symmetrical in the waves, unless that's what you're going for, and then completely ignore what I just said. Totally fine to be messy with this because it's going to look good in the end. There's no like perfect way to do this. I don't know if it's like the millennial in me or what, but I love like a messy hairstyle or makeup where things don't have to be necessarily perfect. I just feel like it's easier because you can kind of play around and you end up kind of with a different result every time, but it always looks good because it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just kind of not necessarily being lazy about it, but not being perfect about it so that you get more of a variation in the way that the waves look. This is going to be a little bit of a bigger layer, I think. This is always the point where I'm like, I need a bobby pin and I can never find them. So then I end up with this like crazy bun. Start from the back again here so I can just throw it back so I'm not getting mixed up in the hair. And as far as size of the sections that I'm taking, I would say maybe 1 inch. I want them to not be too thick from like the bottom to the top, if that makes sense, which is why I did 4 layers, even though that second layer was really small. So I actually originally bought this for an elf costume for Halloween, and I only played with it once, which is when I literally made my last video, just because I wanted to see how it looked before I took it with me for Halloween, because I was traveling. And I loved it so much, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be crimping my hair all the time. This is gonna be like my everyday hair. And I think I've done it once since then, and then this will be my next time, just because it takes a while. It really does take longer for me than just regularly curling my hair, just because it's such little sections like this. This is gonna be our last layer here, so I'm kind of doing a messy center part just to get these in the front, and then I'm gonna clean up this and then brush these out so that they're smooth. Just to keep this out of the way, I'm going to do that. Oh, this wasn't even a good middle center part. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's better, but now it's really showing off a couple of my gray hairs. They're gonna live there for now, and then we'll see if I part my hair somewhere on the side. I'm going to do this one a little bit longer on each section, just by like a second or two, just so that it has a little bit more of a crimp to it. And I'm going to also try to be a little bit more precise about the placement, at least at the top part. And then before I finish this front piece, I'm going to do the other side. This side is always harder for me to do in my hair, so I'm like more in the mirror on it. My arms are starting to get sore, I have to say. When I curl my hair, I can do it in like 15 minutes, and this just takes me so much longer. When you do the first piece, if you hold the tail out like this and then just slide down, it's going to be much easier for you to kind of find the right spot. After I do the second crimping, I'll hold it from the top, and that helps me find the right spot to put the crimper. Okay, and we're having a helicopter go by, but we're also losing the sun, so I'm just gonna go ahead and continue with that. These front pieces I like to do last, like one after another. I feel like one side always falls a little bit more than the other side. They're not even. So I like to get them as even as possible by doing them as close together as possible, if that makes sense. If you push it in after you've crimped it, just like this, it'll help hold the crimp a little bit better. Just like bend it in so that it cools down in that wavy shape. Yeah, that's good. Like, they're not perfectly even, but they work. I do have some crimp lines on this, though, that I don't love. With these top pieces, you have to be careful that you don't have the curler like this, because it will cause a really harsh line on the top of your head. You kind of have to make sure that it's rolled down. But it is pretty fixable, I would say. Now that my hair is all crimped, I'm actually going to let it sit for a minute before I fuss with it. The IGK Intern Flexible Hairspray. I do actually feel like the nozzle on this might be broken because it's so hard to press and like comes out so slowly, but I'm going to give my hair some of this because I do like it and I do like the smell of it a lot. I actually love the smell. Oh my god, it smells so good. Something's up with the nozzle and I don't like that. Get it away from my face. This is my face shield. This is the most amazing thing. It's so dirty and it's broken. There's so much like hairspray and stuff on it, but I always will use this to spray because if I get any sort of hairspray or hair product like that in my eyes, they get so irritated. I don't want to get on my face. So this is a great way to kind of just, you know, shield my face. Probably need a new one, but it still works. I just need to clean it. I'm just gonna kind of start shaking. Ooh, it's in my ring. Okay, I'm gonna take that ring off. I'm just gonna shake out my hair. I'm just gonna kind of start messing it up. And from here, we can go and part on either side, I feel like. This is the Orbe Dry Texturizing Spray. I need both hands to do this, so I'm not using the shield, but very lightly, just a tiny bit. A little bit of that stuff goes a long way, and I don't want my hair to feel crunchy. Spray a little on my fingers sometimes and just kind of do that to them to give me a little bit more volume, a little bit more texture in those front pieces. And this is the final hair. I love how it turned out so much. I'm really happy about this. It's really easy too to kind of change up the part and play around with it. Looks great in a messy bun, second day, third day, whatever as well. So I just want to say thank you again, everyone, for making it to this point of the video, and I will see you in the next one.